What is up, guys? It's Doodoo Poker here, back for another video. Today we are going to be talking about a 3-bet pot trend that doesn't really get noticed by MDA and doesn't really get noticed by theory. This 3-bet pot trend is illustrated in two hand histories. Let's take a look at the two hand histories. In the first hand history, we have pocket eights and we are against a triple barrel line. Let's go to the hand history. We have pocket eights and we RFI under the gun. My opponent is in the small blind and he 3-bets and I call. On the flop, it comes 9-7-4. We know you're supposed to go big here. My opponent goes small and I call. On the turn, he double barrels, and on the river, he triple barrels. Now look at this board texture. What do you notice about this board texture? He 3-bet in the small blind from under the gun. So, how much 6x is in my opponent's range? Well, maybe pocket sixes, but I don't think pocket sixes bets turn. Ace-6 suited probably folds pre-flop. 7-6 suited, maybe if he's loose. But there's really not a lot of 6x in his range, so he really shouldn't be triple barreling with much of his range. So what happens here is I wrote this rule down. When the pre-flop range does not align with the post-flop betting pattern combined with the runout. Remember, this was a 9-7-4-3-5 board texture, and my opponent triple barreled. That means he either has a 6 or he's value betting thin with a hand like pocket aces or pocket kings. But what do we know about population? We know population value bets not as thin as theory. They're too conservative with their value bets. So in this spot, he's really only representing a handful of combos. Maybe pocket sixes, but I don't think it bets turn. Maybe a hand like 7-6. But again, I don't think 7-6 really bets turn. Maybe doesn't even bet flop. So when the pre-flop range does not align with the post-flop betting pattern on this runout, it is an overbluff spot. You will not see this in MDA. If I go to MDA and I look at blinds versus under the gun and hijack, all the triple barrel lines are very, very under bluffed. Remember, red's under bluffed. But this is the exception to the rule. When they're representing only a handful of combos, it now becomes overbluffed because he has almost no 6x in his range, and we know that population does not value bet as thin as theory. You need to always call down in this spot. So that's what I do, and my opponent has ace-jack, and we scoop the pot. I'm going to show you another hand where this trend happens. The trend is the pre-flop range does not align with the post-flop betting pattern. Here's another spot where this happens. This is a 1-2 hand, and I am in the small blind, and my opponent RFIs. I 3-bet with ace-jack. The flop comes 7-2-2. I check on the flop. Remember, this is not a range bet, 7-2-2. And my opponent stabs. He stabs around 1/3 sizing, and I decide to call with my ace-jack. On the turn, I pick up top pair, top kicker, and now my opponent bets again. He bets 50% pot, and I call. On the river, a native clubs comes, and my opponent bets around pot, and I call. Again, his pre-flop range does not align with the post-flop betting pattern. He has almost no value unless he has quads. Maybe he flopped a boat with sevens. What kind of hand wants to go 3 streets on a 7-2-2 Jack 8 runout? Maybe he has 10-9 that picked up runner perfect. There's not many hands that want to go 3 streets on this board texture, so it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to bet flop, bet turn, and bet river on this runout because he doesn't have much 2x. The only really strong hands he can have are maybe quads or maybe a boat, but that's only 4 combos. So again, when the pre-flop range does not align with the post-flop betting pattern on this runout, it's going to be overbluffed. Because if we look at MDA, For button versus blinds, in the stab flop bet turn bet 100 on the river, it's under bluffed. But this doesn't tell the whole story. Remember, poker is very, very nuanced. In this spot, he's only representing single digit combos of value, just like in the first spot. In the first spot, he almost has no 7 or 6x. So we call down light versus the triple barrel line. In the second spot, he has almost no value hands besides quads or maybe pocket 7s. So again, we call down light because the pre-flop range does not align with the post-flop betting pattern. So this is a very important trend that you see in 3-bet pots. MDA will not pick up on this, and theory will not pick up on this. You just have to know it from experience. When they have a low amount of value hands, you want to call down lighter, especially in the triple barrel lines and the triple stab lines. All right, guys, if you enjoy this type of content, please give me a like, please give me a subscribe. New video every single day, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.